This is TWiT.
It's such an interesting strategy, in terms of, I guess we won't know for a few months in terms of how the book will do. But just because we always try to focus on social media on the show, what do you talk about in the book that you think is relevant for people who are in the social media space when it comes to unselling? Because a lot of people really are just selling through social media, and it's quite annoying at times, as I'm sure you know.
But that's the whole problem. To me, social's always been about unselling. Unselling is not about not selling. It's about everything except the purchase, the transaction. It's what leads up to it and what happens afterwards. And to me, social media is a horrible sales and marketing platform. There's literally not a word of a lie. Spam has a better click-through rate than Twitter does, as we all who live on there know. So it's about building relationships before and afterwards. Twitter's become quite a customer service complaint forum, quite a real-time I'm angry forum, but also a chance people say, hey, I really love this product, for you to give the high five to. And the best way to sell is to make the customer so happy they bought from you, they're gonna buy from you again.
Scott, what do you think are the #1 mistakes that brands are making on a platform like Twitter, which is kind of an unlikely way to deal with customer service between a business and a customer, but as you said, it's really, really common?
It's, I think if we went back to the show I was on with you guys a couple years ago, we're still saying the same thing, and that's horribly sad. Yeah. But it's the same thing. We're just going to automate and put our commercial messages out there and our brand messages, and it's even more so today. The two biggest problems are still scheduling and automation, which to me is the bane of my existence. But secondly, and the biggest problem, which has been more recently, is trying to capitalize on those trending topics, trying to capitalize on those hashtags. We see something happening, like the Robin Williams example just happened, of brands not just using the hashtags anymore, but then making pictures or Instagrams and tagging them, saying, we feel bad for him, and then they're tagging their own industry in it as well, so they pick up on all the trending topics. And tragedy is never a good time to leverage anything, and we're still doing that. And that's why we'll always have content. I'll always have something to talk about, because science says that 80% of humans are morons, and most of those run brand Twitter accounts.
Wow, I've read a lot of science books, but I've never heard it exactly like that.
80%, Amber.
I'm learning something new every day. Now, on the positive side of social media, there's something happening right now that we should talk about, because probably the biggest story across all social platforms, which is the Ice Bucket Challenge to raise money for ALS. And this is a really big deal. A lot of people are contributing to this charity, and a lot of Ice Bucket videos, but still a bit of backlash from people. I just wanted to get your opinion on what's happening right now, Scott, with all of this.
Well, first, part of that little bit of backlash started, I was one of them, because I originally thought the challenge was either donate $100 or do the Ice Bucket Challenge video. And they all started going viral. I'm like, wait a second, these videos are going viral for you saying, hey, I'm not donating anything, and dumping ice in your head. And then I realized, it was $10 if you did the video, or $100 if you didn't. And then I turned into loving it. And any of the backlash you see is now making me upset. It's almost it is the most successful nonprofit thing I've ever seen. I started in nonprofit. I ran one of the first tweet-a-thons ever in social media, and I understand the challenge of nonprofit and charity raising money. The cool thing, there's a couple cool things about this to me on every level. One, ALS didn't come up with it. It had nothing to do with them. It was a couple of friends getting together, and one of the guys nominated ALS as his charity, and then it took off. And number two, that means they have no fundraising overhead. 47% of a fundraising of a charity's dollar goes into making those funds. It's a cost, it's expense, and their cost is zero, minus some small credit card processing fees. They have zero marketing spend. They don't have to keep the viral going, and that to me, it's awesome. It is 100% awesome. There's not 99% here. There should be no negativity. People talk about, well, there's a drought in California.
Oh my God, really?
Have you ever known somebody? I've seen it twice in the past 2 days. There's a drought going on in California. How dare you dump a bucket of water on your head and help people who are dying from a disease? There is a drought. Same person who's now watering their lawn, is complaining about dumping a bucket. It is the perfect storm of awesome in a time right now in this world that we need awesome. It is a terrible negative time, and rightfully so. There's a lot of bad things happening, both close to home and overseas. That seeing this is the one thing that's gone viral the most. it makes me smile. You know, that makes me happy. And we just donated yesterday ourselves $100 for it. And I think that I've never seen the number of celebrities get involved. I saw David Beckham's yesterday, and he challenges, hey, my buddy DiCaprio's got to do this now and stuff. I've never seen something catch on so much, so fast, and do something
Pretty
for
amazing.
something that's such a great cause.